And welcome back to Nothing Fancy. I'll let you go first this time.
For what?
The co-host.
Oh. I'm your co-host, Joanna.
And I'm your co-host, Jaden. Oh, that was stupid.
Yeah, never did that again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think it's these headphones, officially.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear anything.
That's
Heard that. But like when I get
Just
close, when I get close, I can hear you just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's stupid. Maybe if I lower my neck down, just right down to the level of the microphone.
Are you making fun of me?
No.
Are you making fun of me? Because
Maybe.
you got to my eye level. And I felt like that was an attack. And I felt, okay.
You felt this was an attack?
Okay, Quasimodo. I'll take you.
Bitch. So, yeah. What was I gonna...
What are you gonna do?
Sorry.
News of the week.
News of the week. Okay, let's try this one more time.
It was my voice sound like that.
Okay. You ready? Okay. Here is News of the week.
This is a rough.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. But for News of the week, nothing super crazy has happened this week other than the fact that
Yeah, nothing. Mm-mm.
yeah, nothing. Apparently Carol
All I can think
Baskins is going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
My
People are trying to get Joe Exotic out of prison so that way he can go on Dancing with the Stars to either compete with her or against her.
Oh my god, no.
And wait, but
No.
low-key, I'm kind of here for it because I just want him
too,
to
but,
like
no.
it'd be so bad. But like I'd love it. I mean, he's
No.
gay, so like, but that doesn't mean he has
was like,
rhythm,
and?
unfortunately. Right? I was like,
He walks with a cane.
yes, this is true. This is true.
Oh my god, this is gonna sound mean. I hope she's the first voted off.
Oh,
She
of
does
course
not
she
look
will
like
be.
she's
gonna
gonna
be the first voted off. They're gonna be like, aside from you killing your husband, you're also just really bad at dancing. So
Right.
but then what else? Oh yeah, Queen Herbie just released a song today
Mm-hmm.
/ last night.
I haven't heard it.
It's so good. It's called Chakras. Super
Did you
good.
say chakras?
Chakras?
Yeah, it's chakras, not
Okay,
chakras.
I hear people say chakras.
Yeah, that's wrong.
She said, that's wrong. So maybe don't say that.
Don't go with the dumb
Yeah,
people,
it's
Jaden.
it's chakras apparently. I'm just now finding out. That's a little odd. I'm just gonna move this up against this box. That way it stands up. I mean,
what
up
you
against this
want.
platform. This platform.
It's a box. We're
It's-
ghetto.
It's not a
It's
box.
nothing fancy.
It's nothing fancy. There's books inside those boxes, and the
We're
boxes
real-
are taped shut.
We're really on brand here.
Nothing fancy. I hate
Nothing
us.
fancy.
Oh my god. I was actually really stressed out about this before you came. I was like, because I threw away what we were using before. So I was like, what am I going to use? And I was going to use the stool, and I put the blanket on it, and I was like, actually, this might work. I was like, my laptop can sit up at the top. The microphone can sit right there. But then the laptop kept falling off, and I was like, this isn't going to work. This is going to be really embarrassing.
Your
for the entire
laptop is the
episode.
size of a small TV.
Exactly. I was like, I could have the laptop facing the freaking camera, but I don't think everybody wants to see that. And the charger wouldn't reach that far either. So, what did we do? We got boxes. We got boxes. I actually thought we had like one big box downstairs somewhere, and I couldn't find it. And I also thought I still had one. Turns out I don't. I think I used it to
It
ship
helps
back
being
to my
a
checkbook.
hoarder.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I can attest to that.
I know somebody in my family who low-key is. She denies it. So I should have called her and been like, hi, I need a box.
Be like, oh my god, I got one from 1953.
I got one from 1953. Oh my god, I hate you. But yeah, so for this week's episode, we're going to be doing a lovely Pet Peeves episode.
Pet peeves.
Very regularly, not regularly, but I do pet peeve videos on my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but I've done, I think, 4 or 5 of them at this point. I do have a lot of pet peeves. They come and go as they please sometimes. But Joanna has a lot of pet peeves, and today has been a
Girl.
rough day for her. And she was like, "We're doing pet peeves today. I don't care. We
I'm
need
ready
to
to
do
go
this."
in.
So I'm gonna let you take away the first two.
Okay. Let's see.
We'll do first three for you because you you have you have more than me.
I have two that kind of go together, so it's like the same thing, so it's okay.
Okay, so that'll just it doesn't matter. Just go ahead.
We'll just keep going.
We'll just go.
The first one I have is like people who think being rude is funny, and that's how they try and get like people to like them.
They like people who think being rude is like a personality trait, and they're like, ha ha ha, like it's okay, and then like they use it to be funny, and then they're like, and then like when they get called out for it, they're like, it was a joke, like why are you mad? And you're like
there was this girl in high school, I remember this vividly. First of all, nobody liked her. I think her friends pretended to be her friends.
Say it quietly behind the. Okay.
But she was like the smart one, and she like really like capitalized on that, if that makes sense, in high school. And I remember I had to sit next to her, and I literally sat like this because I did not want to be like, I sat on this side and she sat on this side, and I was like, no, I am ignoring you. I will not deal with you. She did too. I don't know what her deal was with me, but nobody liked her, so.
Hold on really quick. First of all, we're drinking hot chocolate.
We are.
That I made. What did you say this tasted like? Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Lucky Charms marshmallows.
I was trying to put my finger. I was like, this is so good, and it's sweet. It has flavor. I told Joanna, I was like, this hot chocolate is obviously better than anything that you're ever gonna get at Starbucks because I was like, it's because I'm black and I know how to season my hot chocolate.
As we drink them out of Starbucks cups.
As we're drinking them out of Starbucks cups, and that one I got for free. Was it? Well, technically for free. And they were like, I think every year they do like a thing where they're like, if you like order like this drink, like one of our like signature like holiday drinks, we'll give you a free holiday cup. And then I got this one at like the beginning of fall because I was like, oh, like I really need to get one. And that's, when was that? I think that was like right, not at the beginning, but like maybe like October-ish when when it was starting to get a little bit colder and more windy. But yeah, anyway, sorry, back to homegirl being a rude a-hole.
Yeah, okay, so everyone was joking around with this teacher, and she tried to make a joke, but instead just blatantly said that the teacher's sweater was ugly, and literally she laughed, and some people went because they didn't want to make her feel bad. And also the teacher, I'm not joking, people, I feel like people catered to this girl.
I would not apologize.
And
I would not even laugh to make her feel good. I'd be like,
I wasn't.
Low-key, I'm such a jerk. It's not even being a jerk. I'd literally be like, oh, so you're just like bullying the teacher now. Like, you're just being rude. And then they'd probably be like, it was a joke. It's funny. I'd be like, well, it's not. We're laughing because people are laughing because they feel bad for you because you're an idiot.
People were joking around before, and I was like, ha 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 ha. She said something, and I was like, I looked at her like, are you serious? Did you really just say that?
You really gonna say
that? Like, again, I don't remember word for word what she said, but I know it was messed up, and I was like, this bitch has the fucking audacity.
You were like, it's the audacity for me.
Legit. Oh my god. Okay, that's the first one. The second one I have.
I like how right as you rush to read it, it just said
yes,
off.
It was like psych.
It was like, ooh, remember it from memory. See if you can recall.
But the second two are just like people being like late and not giving a shit about time.
I was gonna put that one, and then I realized that like I'm not late in the sense that like for example, work or like any sort of event or whatever, I'm not late. Like I usually am there like within like the allotted amount of time, like and or like right on time. And to me, being late is like even when we worked at Roadhouse, like my idea of late was like being there like at the time I need to clock in, because I was like, the managers are like gonna give me a hard time. Like, where were you? You're late. Blah 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 blah. Which did happen a few times, at no fault of my own.
Right.
Which they knew, which was great because I always called anytime I was going to actually be late. But I was always super early to things. Whenever me and Joanna hang out, though, like, I'm late in the sense that, like, there sometimes, like, I'll think that I have enough time to do everything, and then, like, she'll be like, I'm here, and it's usually, like, one thing that I have left to do, and I'm like, okay, give me, like, 2 seconds, like, I need to brush my teeth, or, like, give me a second, I need to do my hair really quick, because, like, I thought I was gonna have enough time to do it, like, I need to put in my contacts, but, I mean, like, people who are late are, like trash.
Or, like, okay, people who are always constantly late, that's one, and then don't say anything about them being late. My cousin, she is late to literally everything.
I know so many people like that. Like, I think it bothers me when people, like, don't bother to be courteous enough or, like, nice enough, like, whatever the word is, to be like, hey, I'm running late, just to let you know. Like, they'll just run late and then they'll just show up and you're just like, where were you, bud?
I hate it because then I'm like, oh, you're coming today, right? And they'll be like, yeah. And then it's time. I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be here.
Right.
Where are you at? And then they don't answer.
And then you're like, so you're just not going to come.
I'm like, are you dead now?
Right.
Like, hello? Like, you'd be mad if I didn't answer you.
This sounds like a drag to you, but it was more just like, I want you to know that I wasn't doing that to you earlier because Joanna was coming from work earlier, and it's like snowing currently. That every time. I do, but like I also just like get like really concerned because like sometimes like she'll be like, oh, I'm on my way, and we literally live like 5 minutes from each other, so like whenever it takes more than 5 minutes, like even if 10 minutes or whatever, like I still like freak out and I'm like, is she okay? Like, did she get in a car accident? Like, oh my god, like what the hell? Or like, you know, it's sometimes just like simple things where you're like, oh, my mom was talking to me, I'm leaving my house right now. I'm like, oh, okay, you're Gucci. Okay, I just want to make sure you're alive.
Yeah.
But like now I'll be like, whenever she's like, I'm on my way, if it's warm outside, I just sit outside and I wait for her until she gets to my house.
You're like a creep now. I'm just kidding.
I just like, I want to be ready for her, you know? Because in the past I wasn't always ready. It wasn't always
No, you
prepared.
weren't. I'm just kidding.
No emotion. No, you weren't.
You're just expecting me to be like, no, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, you weren't.
No, you weren't ready. and that's on period. Yeah, no, I agree. I hate people who are late there.
Yeah. Or just have really bad time management.
Yeah.
I'm like, you knew, like me, okay, if I know I have to be somewhere, I know I need at least...
Did you hear that?
Not really.
Okay. I heard it barely on my end, and I have a feeling it's going to show up in the podcast.
Like, if you need to be somewhere at, like, I don't know, 8, okay, if I needed to be somewhere at 8, I'll get up at 6, maybe 5:45. Okay? Because I give myself some leniency. If I know I'm not going to have breakfast or something, or I'm not going to do this or that.
Right.
I act accordingly, but I know when to leave, and I know how long.
I act accordingly.
It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Right. I
think it's just my brain.
Same.
You know?
High five.
Thank you.
High fives on podcasts. We should have a high five count every time we high five in our podcast now.
Oh my god, we get a soundboard and it dings every time.
Ding.
High five.
My first one this is like a really stupid one, but it's because I work at a restaurant and whatever. When people, actually, I need to give a backstory really quick to this.
Okay.
Because of where I work. So I'm not going to tell you what restaurant I work at, but I'm sure you guys will be able to figure it out once I tell you what this menu item is. It's honey chipotle, like chicken tenders. And nothing bothers me more in this world than when people say, I'll have the honey chipotle and not chipotle. Like,
people really say that?
They do, and it drives me up the wall. And so when...
Do you say chipotle when you're reading it back?
I say it very aggressively, too. I'm like, yeah, you can have the honey chipotle, the honey chipotle crispers, and they're like...
They're like, thank you.
They're like, thank you. And I remember one day I said that, and this guy was like, he's like, oh yeah, thank you so much. He's like, yeah, I think I think I'm gonna do the honey chipotle crispers. And I was like, and it was right after I like just reiterated it to him, and I was like, it's really not that hard to just chipotle, okay?
It's literally how it's spelled too.
Literally. So how are you saying
chipotle?
Chipotle. Where in your brain does that connection?
It's white people, man.
It bothers me so much, dude. I literally, like, there's something about it that, like, actually kind of, like,
yeah,
like, destroys me inside and fills me with a deep rage that I like.
Oh, yeah, I had people just pronouncing words wrong. And then, oh my god, Damien, he says acrost. And I'm like, it's across.
Across.
And he was like, across. And I'm like, there's no T in that word.
One of my old coworkers who recently just left.
I thought you were going to say die.
No.
I was like,
she always says, anytime I talk to her, she would say supposedly and not supposedly, and then she would also say specifically instead of specifically, and it drove me up the wall, off a cliff, into the ocean with spikes at the bottom because I sank so fast and I died.
And the thing with me, I can't not correct you.
Oh, I know.
Always,
same.
If someone says something wrong, I will correct them. I used to do it in school, like when people were reading from a book and they said it wrong, I'd say it and they're like,
there's some people that, like, I'll correct them, but then, like, after I correct you, like, maybe so many times, I'm like, I'm just gonna let you sound stupid at this point because I can't. And, like, then there's other people who I'm like, who I won't correct right off the bat because I'm like, oh, maybe it was just like like a slip of the tongue, you know, old habits die hard. Like when you're a little kid, you say stupid things wrong. And so I was like, you know, like maybe that's like what this is. That's not what it is. It's just them not pronouncing things right.
It's pure stupidity.
It's pure stupidity. So yeah, I think it's back to you. It is back to you because that was mine.
Back to me, John.
People who say things wrong.
Just kidding.
Back to you, John.
Oh my god. Okay, so I said this. Ew, that sound. I said this in another podcast, but I work at a hotel. I'm a housekeeper, right? So I'm on the elevator a lot. Because I gotta go up and down the floors all the time.
She said,
when I get in the elevator with someone and then they click a button and I'm like, I'm going to that floor so I don't click it. And they go, Are you gonna choose a button? I'm like,
Are you gonna choose a button?
They're like, oh, what floor? And I'm like, the same floor as you. That's why I didn't choose a button. And they're like, oh, okay. That happened to me 4 times on Sunday.
You know what's really funny? Speaking of buttons and like elevators and things, people have like a pet peeve of people who like push buttons too many times, and I'm like, I only push it aggressively because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's gonna make the doors close faster. And I'm like,
even the door closer button, that shit don't work. They don't work.
Like you be hitting the button, it just don't. I'm like, why is this button even here? It's a scam. Close. That button is a scam.
People are coming.
You're like, I don't want them. I remember I was doing Postmates one day, and I was like delivering food, and then these people were like, standing there, and like they got there to the elevators like right before me, so like they went and they were like, oh, you can come in. Mind you, they weren't wearing masks, and I was like, oh no, it's fine. They're like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And so now I'm like waiting for the next elevator. And then it comes, I go in, and then like these people come around the corner and they're also not wearing masks. They're like, oh, can we squeeze in here? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. And they were like, oh, and like they like kind of like peered inside the elevator to see if anybody was in there.
Mask and then close.
I should have. They like peered around to see if anybody else was in there, and they were just like, they're like, and like they were kind of irritated. They were like,
mask next time.
And so then I went and I delivered the food. Turns out they were going to the exact same floor I was going to, and I'm coming around the corner after dropping off this food, and they go and they like, I turn the corner and I see them, and I was just like, oh shit. Oh my god.
Another one that kind of has to do with elevators. Okay, again.
We love elevators here.
The carts we have literally take up the entire elevator. Okay. And I always get a laundry cart. So, me and everything fills up the entire elevator.
Right.
Oh my god, when people are on the elevator and it opens and I have my stuff ready to push onto the elevator and they're like, oh, you can come right in. I'm like...
You're like, bitch, I can't fit in there.
I look at them, I'm like, I'm not gonna fit. They're like, no, come on, try. I'm like, it's not gonna fit. I know.
My favorite thing to do is like whenever people do that, there was one time I went to one of my sisters had a pageant. Like she does like this thing called Miss Black Colorado. And it was at the Doubletree a few years ago. My older sister, Dominique, who's been on my YouTube channel multiple times. Anyways, shameless plug. But she was in the pageant, and I was like, okay, cool, great. And so my oldest stepsister, the one who like essentially runs it, she was like, oh yeah, like I have like a hotel room for myself. She's like, but I'm not gonna use it. Like I'm probably just like gonna go home and like get stuff ready for the next day and stuff like that. So you can use the hotel room. And I was like, oh, cool, great, tight. So I did. And there was the night that we were, or one of the nights that we were there, I told these people, like I was getting onto the elevator and it looked like I worked there just because of what I was wearing. And they were like, oh, you can go ahead and come on. And I was like, oh no. I was like, it's actually like hotel policy. Like we're not allowed to like go on. Like we have to let the guests come off first.
You are such a troll.
I hate who I am as a person, but I was just like, I'm not getting on this elevator with y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. But one time there was a guy on there. It was just one guy. Okay. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, you can go. I'll wait for the next one. And he was like, no, come on. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I did. First of all, it takes forever to push everything in there. And then I got to squeeze it in there. Okay.
So I got to squeeze it.
And he's like, no, it's okay. Come on. He was not letting it go. So I was like, fuck, I got to get in this damn elevator. I push it in, the cart all the way to the back. I have to push the laundry cart in it. And then I squeeze in. But this man, like I said, you were squished in there with it. This man is pushed against the wall like this. Like, he has no room. And I was like, dude, I fucking told you that we weren't gonna fucking...
Right. Like, you're like, you played
I'm
yourself.
I'm like, come on. And then I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I'm apologizing. He was like, no, you're good. I was like, never. Like, come on, dude. Oh, I love that. It made me so mad. And then I'm frantically trying to get the cart out of the elevator. And like it's not coming out right. So it just looks more stupid.
And it's not coming out right. Oh my God. My next one is people who have been with companies for a while and act like they're better and like they, for some reason, have like this innate more knowledge than everybody else.
Or they can do things that other people can't do.
It's super frustrating. I literally work with a few people like that at my job now who have been there obviously like for a few years. I mean, it's a restaurant and like whatever. And it bothers me to no end because like they're like, well, like this is how like it should be done and like blah 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 blah, and I'm like, it bothers me because I'm like, I know that me as a new person, new as in I've been there for almost a year now,
right?
And I'm like, it just bothers me because I'm like, I've been here for almost a year now. Like, I know, like, the ins and outs of things, like, whatever. Like, and this is not my first rodeo. I've served before. I'm not stupid. I know how to do this. And they were like, some of them literally do not know how to lay off. They're like, no, like when, like a few years ago, like when I first started working here, like, 5 years ago when I was here, blah, 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 like we had to do this and like, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm trying to like, and then like, it also bothers me because then like, they'll try to reintegrate other stuff from like years prior back into new stuff that has been outlawed, if you will. I don't know any other words, but like outlawed because the company's like, no, like we don't have to do that anymore. Right. And so then they'll be like, oh, like I'm trying to like get us to use that again. So like, let's like go ahead and start doing that because like it just makes things a little bit easier. And I'm like, okay, well, seeing as you're not in charge here, maybe, just maybe, we don't do that. Right. So there's that.
Or like they get special treatment.
Right. Like, oh my God, people who get special treatment at jobs, like, girl, I can't do it.
Oh my God, this chick today. Okay, she, first of all, only works 4 days of the week. She has, I don't know why you showed me.
I don't know why you said okay. You could have just been like, you could have just been like,
to acknowledge that.
No, you don't gotta.
I was moving my head the whole time.
You don't gotta acknowledge. You could have just been like, I like, or like nothing. I just like kept going, you know.
You see, now we wasted like 30
it's fine.
seconds.
Keep going.
oh, the girl, she's been here, like, basically as long as one of the supervisors, right? Mm-hmm. And first of all, she only works 4 days. I don't know why she doesn't have another job, okay? Her kids are, like, grown. Okay? And then, okay, she only works 4 days. Mm-hmm. She only works on one specific floor.
Right.
She hides her laundry cart, and then she stacks it with a bunch of stuff, like, it's okay, right, and everything. And I'm like, yo, like, this is ridiculous. And, like, she takes literally everything to put on her cart. Like, okay, remember how I told you we're assigned floors now? Mm-hmm. I'm on the floor with her. They assigned it as to, like, when you come in for work, mm-hmm, and we both get there early, mm-hmm, along with the third girl who's on there. And she, oh my god, she gets stuff. Oh my god. She gets stuff from laundry downstairs. Mm-hmm. And then when she comes up, she takes stuff off of the thing in the closet. And I'm like, you don't get to do that. There's 2 other people on here. And she's always like, and I can't be like, no, don't take it because I don't want to be an asshole. You mm-hmm. know, I don't want this another Roadhouse situation. Right. And she's like, oh, do you need any of this?
Roadhouse story time's coming soon, just so we're all clear.
Yes, that's coming soon. But she was like today I was leaving and they put a new cart on there. Mm-hmm. Mind you, all 3 of us are there tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Past couple days, it's been 2 of us. Mm-hmm. All 3 of us are there tomorrow. And she took literally everything off of there. And she was like, oh, do you need anything off of this? I'm like, well, tomorrow I will. What the fuck? Right. And then she went downstairs and got more stuff to put on her cart.
Oh, yeah.
And I was about to go downstairs and tell my supervisor, like, yo, she's taking literally everything off the cart. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a replacement. Because I saw them putting new things on there. Mm-hmm. And I'm, like, this close to fucking telling them, bro. Mm-hmm. This fucking close.
She's like, I'm this close to telling them. And, like, that actually goes really well with my next, what is this called? Pet peeve. That goes really well with my next pet peeve. Because I feel like mm-hmm. if she was sponsored by Anchor, mm-hmm. like, which is, like, one of my biggest pet peeves is, like, people who get sponsored by Anchor and or, like, listen to our Anchor sponsor, but then, like, don't do anything about it. So, like,
I'm saying,
it's like, maybe she was sponsored by Anchor. She'd be Gucci. Mm-hmm.
This episode is sponsored by Anchor, which, if you don't know what Anchor is a free podcasting platform that helps you get started with all your beautiful podcasting needs. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. Definitely free. 1,000% free. 1,000,000% free. Free 99, except minus the 99 cents. Okay. And there is a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. So it makes it really easy, really simple, and really accessible. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, literally so many platforms, and they do it all for you. And I know that was something that was super important to me and Joanna because it really stressed me out. And when I tried to get on Spotify, I couldn't figure it out. And then the next day, I got an email from Anchor. They're like, we already did it for you. I was like, wow, thank you for taking the stress off of my back. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I feel like I should say that one more time. No minimum listenership. And it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, download the free Anchor app off of the Apple App Store or go to the Google Play Store or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you, Anchor.
And we're back. Thank you, Anchor.
Thank you, Anchor.
Just for sponsoring.
Oh my.
I was like,
you're like, for what?
I didn't know what you wanted me to fucking say.
I was like, go ahead. And we're back.
I was like, does he want me to say my next one?
Well, I think it's my favorite thing too because obviously like with these being filmed and like the Anchor ad that I have in the filmed version actually looks like a commercial. So I think it's just perfect to say, and we're back. I think it's so great.
Okay.
Anyways, I think it's actually you. Is it you? It is you.
It is me.
I'll give you 2 on this one.
Let's see. Okay. I hate people not hate people. I strongly dislike it when
she said,
people
I have a strong distaste for.
Are very picky eaters. Because I'll eat anything once. If I don't like it, I won't eat it again. But I will try anything once. My mom once said to me, and I'm kind of embarrassed that it's true. She was like, Joanna, you're not picky at all. I could cook a dead rat and you would eat it if I didn't. No. She said I would eat it if I had nothing else to eat.
Your mom is so atrocious.
I was like, you kind of right though. Because I'd be making some weird food combinations, okay?
Bro, me too. All the time.
And the rest of the kids, they're picky as fuck.
Okay, wait. I have a question for you then.
Okay.
So, in some part of the world,
mm-hmm.
they fry tarantulas.
Yeah, I don't know. If it doesn't look like it, maybe.
No, it looks like it.
Depends. If I can't look at it. If I ate it blindly
mm-hmm.
with gloves on, so I didn't have to feel it.
She said with gloves on. She's like, there's no way I'm doing that without the gloves.
Maybe. But again, I don't know.
Apparently it's real crunchy.
So. Oh, yeah. Isn't it like the outside's all bone? Technically.
Yeah, technically.
Sorry. But
their bones are so fragile.
The people who are really picky and just won't try something,
mm-hmm.
Damien's really picky. And he swears that I'm picky. And I'm like, no, I just don't like that one thing.
I'm also not very picky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll usually, like, I'm much like you. Like, I'll usually try anything once.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there are times, too, like, where I'm also, like, if I catch a scent of something and, like, it literally is making, like, the scent makes me sick to my stomach, then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat that because, like, I already know I'm probably not going to like it then.
Right.
But, like, usually, like, even if, like, if it smells good and then I try it and then I actually just don't like it, then I'm like, okay, whatever. But, like,
you're like, not a fan.
But, like, if the smell itself is just super bad, like, even if it tastes super good, like, I genuinely just won't eat it because I'm like, I can't even stomach the smell. Yeah. And, like, you know how when you eat things, the smell is, like, also in your mouth at that point, and so, like, you can just take it's no, can't do it. I would rather die.
And I hate when people are like, try this new thing that I've never tried, and I'm just like, okay, what is it? People think that when I'm asking what it is, I'm not gonna eat it. That's what my dad does. He doesn't tell me what he's giving me.
He's like, just eat it. You're like,
yes,
I'm gonna eat it.
Like, I will, but can I know what it is?
Right.
And he's always like, fine, it's this. And I'm like, okay, gross. I'm kidding.
I hate you.
Do I do another one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, people who just drive really fucking slow. Like.
Okay.
Or just don't go the speed
limit. That goes hand in hand with one of mine, which is just people who can't drive in general.
Oh my god.
I hate people who drive slow. I hate people who can't drive in general. I hate people who are on the road and just obviously they can't drive, who just have zero clue what the hell they're doing, because they'll drive and, like, they'll drive extremely slow and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Because like, and, like, prime example, like, when we were going to Best Buy the other day, the way this intersection was set up, just so y'all have, like, an idea, it's essentially like a four-way intersection, but there's no lights. Yeah. There's only a stop sign coming out of, like, the Walmart from where we were, which is on the left, and then there's another street on the right, and then obviously the main road. And then, so I'm about to turn left as if I was going to Walmart, and this lady who's on my right, I have the right of way. This lady just, like, starts driving. Luckily, I was paying attention, per usual.
She was not.
And she just went. And she was also, like, it was very clear she wasn't paying attention because there was also another car coming towards us already. And luckily, they slowed down because, like, they would have just hit her. Yeah. And, like, she just, like, was not paying attention. And I was like, oh my god. And then she had the nerve.
She had a quick glance.
She had the nerve to look at me like I was the one in the wrong. And, like, I honked my horn and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, how you gonna be?
I hate when people. We live in Colorado.
We
know that there's going to be rain. there's going to be snow, there's going to be hail. There will be
There's going to be ice.
weather
There's
pattern
literally everything.
in Colorado. Maybe in 1 week, like this week.
Like this week, exactly. We got rain last night, and we get snow today.
But the fact that people drive like so stupid in the snow blows my mind.
Oh, for sure.
Blows my fucking mind. Like when my mom is always like freaking out about the snow, I'm like, I get it, but like this happens every year.
Oh yeah. Like when I still had my beautiful Chevy, Karen, miss her. Hope she's resting well up in car heaven. Anyways. Oh. I hate you.
R.I.P.
I like the
So sending it up.
just send it up to God.
You take that, Jesus.
Take it away. When I still had Karen, I remember like there was one day I was coming home from school, and you're Gucci, and I was leaving the campus. I'm not going to say the school's name because that would be not good. There's creepos out there, so people will try to do something to the. Anyways, so I was like leaving the campus, and I'm like turning to go onto like the main street, and there's like obviously snow on the ground. First of all, when I first got to class, there was no snow on the ground, and then I got out of class and there was snow. So I was irritated. And like when I say there was snow, I mean like the snow had covered the ground entirely. Like there was already like a good probably like 5 centimeters worth of snow, which I hate using centimeters as a measurement, but like when I tell y'all that snow was thick, and I'm like going to turn on the main road, I like skid, and I'm like, oh my god, I like essentially like hit the curb. When I hit the curb though, it was like very lightly, like it was actually just like the side of the tire. So I was like, okay, cool, perfect, whatever. And I ended up getting my bearings. I'm going home. I immediately turn on Tori Kelly / my gospel playlist, and that was when Tori Kelly had just put out her gospel album, and I said, girl, we're listening to some Tori Kelly, we need Jesus in this car with us. And I was so calm the rest of the drive. Ooh, girl, I was chilling. And then as I'm driving, I get to one point where this guy just like flew by me, just like speeding, and I was like, boy, there is snow on the ground, and there are people like trying to like drive safely, and then like I end up seeing like brake lights up ahead, and like he's like trying to brake, and he almost hits this car. Luckily, I was already going really slow, had my hazard lights on. People behind me were paying attention, thank God. He like almost hits his car and like had to yeet his car out of the way, and then when he yeeted his car out of the what?
I don't know if that was a bird or someone threw something at your window.
Let's hope something threw at my window, because if it was a bird, we're not having a repeat of my sister's window. Long live that bird. Anyways,
died?
Yeah, it did die. It was still on the roof like 3 days later, even though it was windy later that night. I was like, oh, it's gonna get blown off the roof. It was still there. I like went over to her window and I was like, oh fuck.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. Okay. I think it should be gone now. It's been real windy lately, so hopefully it's gone now. Otherwise, she's just not to keep seeing a dead bird. But homie's car like flew up onto the curb because he had like yeet out of the way, and I was just like, oh my god. And he was like on the sidewalk and like just sat there for a second, and then I was just like, sir, what the hell? But then then the same freaking truck comes up later and like almost hits somebody else again, and then he like was gonna swerve out of the way, and he realized he was gonna hit me, and so then he didn't swerve out of the way. Luckily, I think his ABS, automatic braking system, for those of y'all who don't know what ABS is, that's a thing here in Colorado, just so you know. Anyways, and his ABS like kicked in and like luckily stopped his truck in time. But I was just like, dude, like, oh, people who don't know how to drive in weathered conditions are awful. And like they just treat it like it's any old kind of thing. Like rain is not the same as snow, and snow is also not the same thing as rain, just so we're all clear. Like you cannot treat them the same. Like they are very similar, but you cannot treat them the same.
You can't speed in either.
You can't speed in them either.
Like, either of them.
Like, why would you want to? That is so
Right.
dangerous.
You're gonna
That literally is, like,
you
so
literally
terrifying.
lift off of the ground.
Literally, like, you can literally, like, feel the, like, slipping and sliding of the wheels. Like, not getting traction. And it's literally the most terrifying thing on this planet.
I know we said that we hate slow drivers, but I will drive slow in the snow.
Oh, yeah. Like, slow drivers in the snow
Yeah,
/
I'm
in the
like,
rain.
go
Like,
ahead.
I'm like, please drive slow. But, like, if it's sunny
Like,
out
no
and
pressure.
we're chilling, you know, and the speed limit's like 65 and you're going 50 and or 45 and we're in the fast lane, what are you doing? Because now I gotta go around you to fly by you, and then all of a sudden you want to speed up when you see that I'm trying to
Right.
go.
Like, if you
This
was
is
just
the
going
longest
the
pet peeve we've
speed-
ever had.
I mean, it's people. That's the one that
That's the
people
one.
need to get together, because everybody's gonna learn how to drive at one point. If you're not driving, you have drove at one point in your life.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, be fucking good at it. That's all I have to say. If not, take the fucking bus.
Take the fucking fence. My next pet peeve is, this is just like a stupid one, but it bothers me so much. Styrofoam rubbing against other styrofoam. I hate the sound. It's like that. It's disgusting. I hate it. I don't know why. That's all. Thank you.
'Cause
That's my other pet peeve.
It like hurts my teeth.
Huh?
If that makes sense. Things don't, like, you know,
Wait.
when it hurts your teeth.
But like hearing that with zero context,
I was
with like talking about
your
styrofoam, hearing about
Oh.
styrofoam, and you're just like, it hurts my teeth. You would immediately think that you're eating styrofoam.
No, like, you know, sounds that like hurt your teeth.
No.
You don't know
I
what
mean,
I'm
like,
talking about?
I know like high frequency sounds that like vibrations and stuff, like high frequency vibrations and stuff that like hurt my teeth.
Like what?
Like have you ever, if you ever use like a tuning fork or something like that and like put it to your lip / like close to your teeth, like you can feel it and it hurts your teeth really bad.
Okay,
Stuff
well,
like
not
that.
because it's near your fucking teeth.
Okay, well, I don't know how you feel about styrofoam.
I'm saying, like, you know, like, if you were eating something and you scratch something against glass.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like
I feel
that.
Ugh, I just don't like squeaky sounds like that. It just bothers me.
I also hate...
Like, thinking about it.
This is making my teeth hurt just, like, thinking about it. I hate when people, when they're eating, and it's a normal
Utensils.
fork or whatever, and they slide their teeth
Ugh.
across it. And they're like, "Shit."
I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. And the reason why was because I hated the idea of like having to like wipe my mouth, and I was like, ugh, like that's so stupid. I was like, if I use my teeth, then it just gets everything all at once and I'm good. But then my mom was like, stop doing that. And she was like, close your mouth around your fork, you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I don't have to wipe my mouth every 4 seconds. Would
Yeah,
you
I
look at
don't-
that? I was like, apparently that only happens when you're a child who doesn't know how to eat. Fucking toddler. That's when that happens.
Oh my god. But yeah, I hate when people do that. I don't get it. I've never been able to do it. I've never done it. I will not do it.
Hate it.
I don't even
Gross.
like when the fork hits my fucking teeth.
Yeah, like it doesn't bother me, but I do know people. I mean, like I'll do it sometimes, like when I'm bored, like when I'm waiting for something to warm up, and then I'll catch myself because I hate the sound, and I'm like ding 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 like on my teeth, and then I'm like, ugh, I hate that sound. It's awful. Okay, your turn. Well, let's do 2 more each. We got a lot of pet peeves, y'all.
A lot.
We're angry people. No.
I am.
I'm angry. No, I'm just kidding. I am angry, but like not as angry as Joanna. She has a lot going on in her life. And that's on period. And that's on what? Period.
Period on God no cap. Thank you.
Period on God no cap. Should we harmonize that really quick? Period on God no cap.
That was bad.
That one. That's the one right there.
Oh my god. Okay. Again, this is because I work in a hotel.
Right.
Okay.
That's okay.
People, and you know who you are. I don't even have to say the type of people you are.
But you know who you are.
But people who don't clean up after their kids, or clean up after themselves in general. Or they don't clean up after their pets.
Oh, this is also just like a general thing because it also happens in restaurants all the time too, and it irritates the hell out of me.
Like, and they think like, oh, they have someone who'll do it. Mm-hmm. They have someone to do that. I'm like,
like people at restaurants who are like, oh, it's the server's job to clean up the table, and I'm like,
they have a busser, they can.
They have right, and I'm like, ooh, I will kill you. Like, I know there were a few times, like I know so many times, like with different people in my family who have said that multiple times. I remember there was one time that like we went to like a newer restaurant, and I remember like one of my family members, I'm not gonna say their relation to me, like. And when I say relation, I mean like mom, dad, that kind of thing. Okay. Glad we got that covered. But like, I remember one of my family members was like, oh, like she's new. Like you can't like do that because obviously I had been already serving for so long at that point. And like that, like it bothers me more than anything when people don't like clean up after themselves. It doesn't matter if you're a new server or not. Like, the ideology of like they're new, so like they need to learn. I'm like, no, like they probably have already learned at this point, and like it's probably the worst thing to have to learn that like people don't clean up after themselves. Right. But they should also know that like there are people in this world who are sweet people who will also clean up after themselves, who know like how to take care of people.
Right.
It just bothers me.
And it really bothers me if you're a grown ass adult and a room is trashed. I mean, trashed. If it's teenagers, I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Right.
Because they are filthy.
Because they are filthy little rats.
You know, but if you were a grown adult and you have kids and you just... Literally, I had a room yesterday where there was diapers thrown everywhere, not in the trash.
Oh, I could never.
And I'm like... Are you kidding me? Like, how do you live at home?
Do you guys... Hold on. Just a quick question. Do you guys have to fold your sheets? Like the fitted sheets?
Like, what do you mean?
Like...
In the sets?
Yeah.
They're folded,
like,
yeah.
They're folded?
I don't fold them. Laundry does.
I need you to ask laundry how to fold a fitted sheet. I still can't figure it out.
I can show you.
Oh, perfect. Because I don't know how to do it. Yeah. I am... incapable of doing so. I just thought about that and I was like, Joanna, I'm like, they probably have to like fold the sheets. I should ask Joanna to see if she knows how to do that so that way I can do that.
I think I saw her do it one time and I think I got it. But anywho, yeah, people who just don't clean up after themselves or even like attempt to. Like, I get like the trash in the rooms is like this fucking big.
Right.
Like, I get it, but you could always go ask for another trash bag. And a lot of people, they'll go to the gas station and you have a bag from the gas station. So can you explain to me how hard it was for you to throw your trash in this bag?
Like, it's very rare that they don't give you a bag, and the only reason why is because, like, you have, like, one or two things, or you say you don't want a bag. Exactly. Like, you usually have enough hands to carry everything. Like, if you have other people with you, and, like, they can see that y'all are just going to be carrying everything out yourselves, then it's, like, fine. But, like, if you have a bunch of stuff and it's just you, they're usually going to be like, oh, like, got you.
And then those are the same people who are, like, not going to leave a tip, obviously.
Okay, so, I have a strong feeling that this episode's going to run really long. So, we're going to put a good chunk of this into a bonus episode, which will be out Friday. So, we're going to try to finish up the rest of our... What are these?
Pet peeves.
Pet peeves. We're going to try to finish up the rest of our pet peeves, and we're going to put them, whatever we don't finish, we're going to put them into the bonus episode on Friday. Jesus, I can't English. So yeah, so there's that. So y'all might get a bonus episode on Friday, so be ready for that.
Also, we'll go to tips now, since you're a server. Okay,
yes.
If you're going to leave a $2 fucking tip, don't fucking tip.
If you're going to leave a $2 tip, don't even go out to eat. Why are you going out to eat? Why? First of all, especially in the middle of a pandemic right now, because you little oh, I want restaurants open. I want restaurants open.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all begged and pleaded
For real.
for restaurants to be open again, and then only for y'all to go to restaurants and then like not even tip your servers, not to tip to goes, not to but you wanted the restaurants to, okay,
Right.
so if you want these restaurants open, y'all better start acting like you want these restaurants open, because I guarantee you in about 3 or 4 months these restaurants, they're gonna be closed again. They're gonna be closed again because COVID is gonna be like, hi, I'm popping back up. I went on a little summer vacay. I wasn't gone long. You barely probably noticed that I was gone because obviously I'm still here, but like I'm still gonna ruin your lives now. Like, y'all gonna be real mad in about 4 seconds. So take advantage of it while you can, and when you do, make sure you tip, because if you don't tip, I guarantee you we gonna have an issue. I really don't play. I don't play.
Like, it's not a requirement to tip a housekeeper, but I feel like it should be.
Oh, it should. Oh, I 1,000%. That should, honestly, that should be part of like your like bill overall. Like however many
Like,
times
you have
that you
to
were
leave
there.
$5 in the fucking room.
Either
Okay?
leave $5 in the room, or like or like if you're not gonna do that, you can like check to like there needs to be some way that you when you pay for your room or whatever,
Right.
that like it's in your contract agreement, whatever the hell it's called,
I
that
swear,
like
I'm
you
about
can that it's automatically gonna be taken out.
I'm about to be petition and be like, okay, because we're a no smoking hotel, right? So if you smoke in the hotel, you have to pay a fine of $250. Okay, which is a lot considering that place is cheap as hell.
$250.
$250.
Sorry, when you said $250, I was like, $2.50 is literally nothing.
No.
And then you said, and I like thought about it, and I was like,
because they have to do like a deep cleaning or whatever. Okay, and I'm about to be like, yo, if this room is trashed and I write trashed in the notes, I better get compensation for that.
right, because like you have to work
because it
even
takes
harder.
me longer to do the room. And you guys are expecting me to get out at a certain time. You better compensate me for the fact that I had literally like 3 rooms yesterday that were trashed. 3 rooms today too.
Girl, you have a lot of patience, because I could not do it.
And like
God did not, God gave me a lot of things. He gave me an ass, but he did not give me patience. She said, he gave me an ass. He gave me the ability to.
I think my ass comes from holding everything in.
I think it does. Your ass is the weight of all of your irritation and stress.
Everything.
It's just everything.
It's weighing on my ass, not my shoulders.
You know how people's stress goes to their heart? Your stress goes to your ass. I love that for you. I just effed up my toenail. Wow, that's fun. It's literally split on the side. That hurts really bad. I'm gonna
okay?
stop touching it. Yeah, no, it hurts. I'm sure it's okay. Yeah, no, I feel that. My next one and my last one, I should say. I guess these can just go hand in hand right now, because they're whatever. So people who don't respect personal space, i.e. social distancing, especially right now.
I have that on here.
As well as, does that say 5 minutes?
I can't see it.
It does. It does, and that makes sense. That makes sense because it only records for 29 minutes at a time. So, can you hold this for a second? Yeah, I'm just gonna, okay, last little tidbit is public HR meetings. I think this week it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome. Wow. Hola, bienvenidos public HR meetings.
Ay.
En Puerto Rico.
Qué fancy, no?
Yeah, qué fancy.
Ay.
How do you,
Ay.
we just learned how to say the word fancy in Spanish.
Lioso.
Lioso. Ay,
Or elegante or something like that.
You something.
We're bad Latin.
For this, we are. It's problem. So for this public HR meeting,
Right.
It has come to my attention. Nobody is actually upset with you this week, and I think that's really good.
That's so great.
Actually, it's a praise
A
from people.
praise?
Yeah, not to be confused with a raise.
I'm
which,
getting a raise.
No, you're not getting that. I think a lot of people usually think they're getting a raise. They're not.
Raise is in praise.
Well, it is.
So it comes with it.
Well,
which
no.
means I'm starting to get paid.
No, I think we talked about this.
This is child labor.
No, it's
you're breaking child labor.
You're an
laws.
adult.
I look like a 12-year-old, so I can pass.
I look like a 12-year-old, and I look like I'm still 15. So I guess we're both going to jail.
Not really, buddy. You can look like an adult.
No, not when I shave. I look like a baby. Anyways, this HR meeting is just to tell you the video that you recently edited for me, which was my back to school makeup look.
Yes.
It was so amazing. It was so great. And I'm glad you made it look and sound so funny and everything, because when I was recording that video, I actually was not feeling good
you had
at
real
all.
low energy.
Yeah, I had zero
like,
energy. I had actually just gotten out of the shower, and when I got out of the shower, I was super lightheaded and my stomach was hurting, and it felt like I was going to pass out or throw up. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, and my stomach was in pain. And I just want to thank you for making that video look as amazing as it did. And I was just like, I felt like I was going to die. I'm not kidding. So there's that. And I think that's it, actually. I mean, you're doing amazing. You know, I wish you did a little bit more promo on things, but like, that's okay.
Do I post anything, Jaden?
And that's why you need to start, baby.
I'm afraid. Okay, I'm gonna be real. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the real reason I don't do it.
Okay, hurry up. We got like 2 seconds.
I think about the people I know or the people I have on my stuff, and them listening to it freaks me out.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? One day I'm just gonna do it, but I'm too afraid.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I'll think about it. I'm just gonna.
Well, this has been Nothing Fancy. And yeah, we hope that you will follow us. We hope you all enjoyed this week's lovely episode.
Check out Nothing Fancy Podcast on YouTube.
Nothing Fancy Podcast. Yeah, Nothing Fancy Podcast on YouTube, where these episodes are filmed. And if you are currently watching the filmed episode, hi, how you doing? If you were here from the flyers that we put up, hi, how you doing?
I drove by them, and 2 were taken off.
Really?
Yeah. Although the one by your house is gone.
That's a little depressing. Well, that's okay. I still have the other ones in my car, so I can always just slap it back up there. So that's okay. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. You'll hear us next week / see us next week if you're watching the YouTube channel. Next week. So yeah, we love you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Bow, 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 bow.